Salutations and good morrow everyone, welcome back to another grounded update video where today I am answering 5 of your guys' most asked questions between my comments, my streams, my Discord, Twitter, all over the place. Every place that I get asked questions, it seems like these 5 questions keep coming up, and I thought what better thing to do than to go through and answer them for you guys right now. So what I'm going to be doing is going over all 5 of them. Before we go over that, make sure you guys hit that like button. Please don't forget to subscribe and leave me a comment down below if you guys have other questions you guys want answered about the Hot and Hazy update that just most recently came out to Grounded. So let's hop in and let's talk about it a little bit, shall we? Okay, so question number 1. Sim, how many new scabies got added to the game, aka, and also what do scabies do? Because there's a lot of new players to Grounded, so I thought let's just hop in and talk about it. So first of all, scabies are inside of your OS. They are flavors that change the way that your background looks and your UI looks, more or less, okay? And to answer the question, there was technically 2 new scabies added and a third that was brought back after it was removed in the Doom and Shroom update. So the 3 scabies that were added are Dog Loaf, they were Sewage, which is the one that was brought back, and also Corporate Issue. Now, out of all of these, Corporate Issue is by far my favorite. It looks the best. In order to get the Corporate Issue Scabby, you need to go down into the Black Ant Hill. There is going to be a complete Black Ant Hill discussion and video going up on the video throughout this week. So guys, just make sure you guys are followed to see that so you guys know the exact location of the Corporate Issue Scabby. The second scabby that I want to talk about that I said before was the Sewage Scabby. Now, the Sewage Scabby was one of my favorite scabbies in the game, but the Sewage Scabby was removed after the Doom and Shroom update. It used to be in a pipe that was right over here. Inside of the swamp, there was a small pipe that you would go down into, you'd pop up, and there would be a Sewage Scabby in there. It was the only thing in that area. That area got blocked off with a rock, and they moved it over to this abandoned pipe that's over here. And it's very difficult to get this scabby now. You need to go through at least having a gill tube and a tier 2 knife in order to get this scabby, because you have to go all the way through a tunnel system. There's actually a guide on how to get this scabby up on the channel as well if you guys are looking to get this one. And lastly, my least favorite scabby that they added to the game, because it hurts, and I will warn you now, avert thy eyes. It is very, very bright. It literally looks like melted vanilla ice cream with melted sprinkles in it. It's terrible. I'm turning it off right now. I'm sorry that I hurt your eyes, but that is the third scabby that was added, and that one is right up on top of the picnic table underneath on top of a knife underneath a paper plate that's right here. So you are able to go and grab that one if you guys are looking for a completionist run, or if you guys like to harm your eyes every time you open your UI. But that is answer 1. There was 2 new scabbies and 1 scabby brought back to the Hot and Hazy update. Okay, the next question I get all the time is, Sim, did the beginning armor change in the game? Is there any other armor we should focus on? Or what is going to be the best way to set us up for the beginning of the Hot and Hazy update? Now, I will say that I'm going to be going over a video to give you guys a more in-depth view of how to start the Hot and Hazy update and what you're going to need in order to go through each part of it, but I'll give you guys this armor one because it's such a frequently asked question. So if I go into my crafting menu here and we go over into armor, what I will say is hand over foot, the best thing to start with in the game if you're going to be going through and doing anything in the game, even with the Hot and Hazy update added, the easiest armor for you to get and the best is the acorn armor. The acorn shells come pretty easily accessible. In fact, even some of them are already broken for you. Mites are super duper easy to wipe out, and seeming how you're going to be following that story progression anyway, you're going to have a lot of mite fuzz. So getting these acorn pieces is not that difficult, okay? So go through, get this armor right away in the beginning. Trust me, it's going to save your life when it comes to being invaded by accidentally running across an orb weaver. Still avoid wolf spiders, obviously, but ants will no longer wipe you out and stuff like that while you're building your other sets of armor that are going to be better. I will tell you that even in mild and medium mode, I was able to use acorn armor to defeat black ants, which is a spoiler on how you guys can go forth in this Hot and Hazy update as well. Okay, so the next question that we're going to be answering today, guys, is why can't you find the mint mace? Okay, why did the mint mace change? The mint mace changed because of how powerful the weapon is. All right, and the reason why you can't find it is because it's now a complex task in order to get to the mint mace's recipe. And you no longer unlock the mint mace by going and researching the mint pieces. in order to get the mint mace now, you need to get the burgle chip that's hidden within the sandbox inside of the sandbox outpost lab. In order to get in there, you're going to need to fight the assistant manager. In order to fight the assistant manager, you have to make your way through the Black Ant Hill into the Black Ant Hill lab using multiple bombs in order to make your way through there. You'll also need to solve the riddle of the Black Ant Hill lab as well in order to unlock all the doors. Then, once you go through and even get the recipe, it's still 3,500 raw science in order to unlock the recipe from Burgle. And on top of that, you will need an oven and to research the globs recipe, which comes from the Hazy lab. So you're going to need a lot of raw science in a lot of time and a lot of mint pieces, 25 mint pieces to be exact, because it takes 5 mint globs in order to craft this wonderful little mint maze here. So it is going to take you quite the amount of time to actually work through and be able to craft the mint mace now, only because, why did they change it? Because it is so powerful. It is literally on par with the Club of the Mother Demon. The Antlion Greatsword is only slightly less, but it is on par with the best weapon that you can get from fighting a boss in the game, which is just as equally as hard to make because you have to still get an oven and you have to go through and fight the Broodmother in order to make this recipe. So it is on par with that weapon, so they had to boost the difficulty in order to create this weapon in the game because it is that good. But speaking of weapons, we're going to go on to point 4 that I get all the time, and that is, Sim, what is the best weapon now in order to take out the Broodmother? Because after all, she is the most difficult enemy in the game. And with her being the only actual boss, because technically the assistant manager is a side boss or a mini boss, the Broodmother is the first actual boss in the game that has her own arena and is labeled as boss by the Obsidian development team. And that is the Antlion Greatsword. I know that sounds a little crazy because it's a two-handed weapon and you're worried about blocking, but if you use Parry Master, blocking with this weapon doesn't get as hard. As long as you couple this with Mithridism, you're good to go. Now, what is the best upgrade path for this weapon? You guys guessed it, it's Spicy. Spicy damage does the most damage to spiders, okay? And the Broodmother is no exception. This damage type will do more damage to the Broodmother, and if you couple it with the large amount of damage that can be done with a fully upgraded Antlion Greatsword, this is really a deadly weapon in order to take on the Broodmother with. Make sure you have Mithridism though, because with you not being able to perfect block it every time, because it takes a little bit more time to perfect block with an Antlion Greatsword, you will probably end up getting poisoned a lot more often. So either that or keep a lot of healing items on your character as well. The last point of why I want to point out that this is the best weapon to fight the Broodmother is because the speed is actually a little bit better. In fact, it's quite a bit better than the Club of the Mother Demon or the Mint Mace, so it doesn't use as much stamina and the weapon does swing faster, thus making it that much more powerful for you in-game in order to craft, use, and fight with against the Broodmother. So that is why, in my opinion, the Antlion Greatsword upgraded with Spicy is by far the best weapon to use against the Broodmother. Now, question number 5 is a little bit more tricky to show off, guys, but I'm going to do my best to do so, and that is, Sim, can you stun a roly-poly? Okay, I know that a great friend of mine, Meteor Milton, makes wonderful, wonderful videos, and he said that it is impossible to stun a roly-poly. I'm here to say I'm sorry. That's not true. You actually can stun a roly-poly. It's just extraordinarily difficult to do so, and their stun is not the same as a standard-looking stun in the game. You guys know when you stun anything in the game, most of the time it just gets little stars that float above its head, and it kind of looks really confused and it doesn't really attack. Where the roly-poly is actually very different in the way that it gets stunned. When you stun a roly-poly, you actually flip it over on its back. That is considered its stun stage. It cannot attack, it cannot do anything, it's literally stuck on its back with its little legs wiggling. I'm going to run over right now and I'm going to start a fight with a roly-poly, and I'm going to see with my Salt Morningstar if I can actually stun a roly-poly. There's a couple over on this side of the yard, so I do have a couple chances to do it, but once I start fighting, I will show you guys how I fight it, and then also if it actually gets stunned, I will show that off as well. Alright, here we are at our first roly-poly, and we'll see what we can do about stunning him here. I have a little low stamina here, but we're gonna see what we can do here. We'll see if it actually happens. It is a rare thing when it happens. It doesn't happen every time, so just as an FYI, it will take you some time to be able to actually do it. So let's see if I can pull it off. There it goes, right there. And that was its stun. Of course, then I killed it right away after doing it. It did happen for a very split second there. I'm going to run over to another roly-poly and see if I can do it again. It does take a lot of hits in order to be able to do it, but technically, yes, it did get stunned right before we ended up killing it. So I'm going to run over here really fast and see if I can find another roly-poly to stun really, really fast for you guys, because I do know that there is another one that's not only in this little section, but also in this area that's up here. So let's just run over there really fast and see if we can stun one more time. On to another roly-poly. I'm going to wait for my stamina to regen before we start fighting him here. And let's get to work. There we go. There we go. There he is, stunned right there. That is what a roly-poly looks like when it is stunned. So yes, you can actually stun a roly-poly. As you guys can see, he's not gaining any health back. He was not able to fight. So I know it looks different than your standard roly-poly, but yes, you really are your standard stun. But yes, you can actually stun yourself a roly-poly in the new Hot and Hazy update. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please hit that like button for me to let me know you guys want to see more. Also, guys, please do not forget to subscribe and leave me a comment down below with other questions you guys would like answered about the Grounded Hot and Hazy update, because I'd love to cover even more for all of you guys. But thank you guys so much. Thank you, and I'll see all of you guys in the next one.